Welcome back, Queens, to Women Unleashed, where our inner strength meets unapologetic confidence. Wow, today is our week 36. I will be rounding up our month 9, where we'll be talking about embodiment. We're talking about, embracing this woman fully, this woman that we have become. We have healed, we have evolved, and it's time for us to walk in a reality, of the good work that we have been doing over the past few months of the woman that we have become. I said we recognize the woman we have become, learn to carry ourselves differently, and protect our peace, purpose, and power. That was our topic last time, protecting our peace, our purpose, and protecting our power. Today we'll be rounding up talking about walking forward unapologetically. Yeah, we're taking our stand, we're walking unapologetically. We'll be carrying ourselves gracefully, walking gracefully, talking with wisdom, not just opening our mouth and say whatever comes out from, but weighing our words and walking in the reality of the woman that we have become. I said, for too long, many of us have dimmed our light to make ourselves others comfortable. We have questioned our words, minimized our gifts, and waited for permission to step fully into who we are called to be. But growth was never meant to be small. We're not supposed to be eating. We're not supposed to be small. We're not supposed to be silent. We're not supposed to be invisible. The fact that we are growing doesn't mean that we should be quiet. It doesn't mean that, we should be small. We should be invisible. Transformation was never meant to be invisible. The woman you have become deserves to be seen. And that's why we're walking boldly and carrying ourselves unapologetically this time around and walking to get whatever it is that we want. Not for attention, not for applause, but because our life carries purpose. Remember last week we talked about our purpose. We talked about protecting our peace, our purpose, and our own plan. Our voice carries value. Our story carries impact. Somebody needs the wisdom that we have gained. We have walked, we have fought this good fight of faith. Many of us have transformed. We've gone through so many challenges. Some of us, it might be that we have evolved and learned to love ourselves through bad relationships that we've had in the past, or, through series of lost jobs or lost hope and disappointment. We've been able to rebuild ourselves, to stand strong, love ourselves, be more confident, be more assertive, be bolder, and learning to love ourselves and saying no to some things. And somebody out there also want to learn. We are the voice for another person that want to learn how we have been able to evolve, how this person can also walk in this light, step by step, and becoming the woman or the man he or she desire to be. Somebody needs the wisdom that we have gained. Somebody needs the hope that you carry. Somebody needs the example of a woman who chose courage over fear and growth over comfort. As we close this month of embodiment, remember this: that confidence is not about becoming someone else. We always talk about this. We don't changing to be somebody else. Yeah, it's good to see people you admire, pick up those good characters you like in them that you also want to see in yourself. Obviously, if I see a Awashika, a successful entrepreneur, I want to be like that. So I want to learn our ropes. I want to learn those attitudes, those discipline that she put in place for her to become successful. I don't want to be a Awashika. I want to be I want to be Bookie. I want to be my authentic self. But there are some things, there are some wisdoms in the way she's lived her life, and I want to learn. And there are people like that too. They also want to learn. They want to learn from our. They want to learn from our mistake. Learn from our mistake things, because we're learning from the mistake we've made. So they also want to pick up and see how we've been able to correct our mistakes, how we've been able to evolve, how we've been able to stand in the face of adversity. You might work in a toxic environment. How you be able to stand out, and they want to learn all those attributes. You've been for a long time, you've eaten yourself, you've been dimming your light, but over time you've been able to face your fear, stand boldly, confront your own fears, and be able to shine. And they want to learn all those characters, because don't forget, what is our life if somebody else cannot learn from us? What is our life? So I said, so confidence is not about becoming someone else. It's about finally giving yourself permission to be truly who we are. Give yourself permission to rise. Give yourself permission, to evolve. Give yourself permission to become that woman that you have been hoping to be. Walk into the room with grace. Lead with wisdom. Speak with authenticity, serve with purpose, and never apologize for the growth that God has produced in your life. Don't be sorry that you have evolved. Yeah, we started a journey with some people, and some people decided they are going to be stagnant. They're not going to be moved. Or you decided you're going to keep moving. Sometimes you start a weight loss journey with, for example, with your group of friends. Women, we like to do things in group. Oh, let's just start this diet plan together. And out of the 5 of you, at the end of the day, maybe only 1 or 2 makes it to the end. So the one that makes it to the end, she'll not apologize for you lot that decided not to carry through. For you lot that decided to give excuses along the way. She also had challenges, but she tried to face her chest, tried to conquer it one step at a time. But sometimes some people face one challenge and that's it, they go back. They forget that, a righteous man will fall 7 times, you will let rise again. When you fall, you speak to yourself, you pick yourself up again and rise. So you have risen, you have come to the first set of goal that you have set for yourself. Don't apologize for it. Be grateful, be gracious, just enjoy that moment, because we always say the sky is our starting point. Because the fact that you have gotten to this stage doesn't mean that is your starting point. We keep growing. I said last time, if the man that produced Tesla or Bill Gates or Elon Musk and many of them, we see here about them. They're not sitting down to say, I have attained the pinnacle of my success. Every day they're looking for new invention. They're looking for new research. They're looking for new ways to conquer the world. So, sweetheart, what have you achieved? Where have you reached that you want to give up now? Those that have arrived, though, I've come to say, you have arrived at your first level. Yes, sit down, enjoy that moment. But sweetheart, there's still work ahead to be done. The journey does not end here. Yeah. This month, maybe concluding this a chapter of our growth, but there is more. Remember, at the beginning of the year, we said our life this year is a book. Every month is a new chapter, and every week, every day is another page that you're turning. And we have said these next few pages, the next few chapters, they are written in gold ink, because we are writing our story. This is our legacy that we are writing. That a few years down the line, we're going to look back and say, wow, Bukola, well done. Well done for not giving up on me. Your new self will tell to your old self and say, well done for not giving up. Well done for not, shrinking. Well done for pushing up to the end. Because if you had given up a few years ago, we won't be here today. And that's where our story is going. So your becoming continues, your impact continues, and this week there is a challenge. I like to give a challenge. We always have our worksheet that we need to work on. I always put the link at the end of the day. Work on it. Some of this worksheet takes us a week. Some will take you a day. Some will take you over time. But I tend to just work with my worksheet over and over again. You want to be a better person. As the day goes by, you want to be a better version of yourself every day. We want to continue to work in excellence. Remember, not perfection. We want to work in excellence. You want your today to be better than tomorrow. Your tomorrow to be better than your today. You want to be the best version of yourself every single time. So this week, I challenge you to write your personal declaration. Because don't forget, this week we are working boldly, unapologetically. That's it. You're going to begin with, from this day forward, I will no longer, you can fill in the gap. From this day forward, I'll no longer shrink, I will no longer apologize for becoming, the woman I've desired to be, or the man I've desired to be. Whatever it is that you want to say. And then you're going to also write, after you written some of those statements, and from this day forward, I choose to love myself. I choose to rest. I choose to be patient with myself. I choose to honor my journey. I choose to value, the way I've grown. I choose to value others. Whatever it is that you want to write. I will also write that at the bottom so you can remember the things that, the challenges that we need to do. Let it become a commitment to the woman you are determined to be. And as Let's become committed to be the woman you have desired to be. And as we close this month together, I want you to also declare that I walk boldly, gracefully, unapologetically in who I am called to be. I walk boldly, I walk gracefully, and unapologetically in whom I am called to be. You tell yourself over and over again, I walk boldly, I walk gracefully. I get into that, I walk with wisdom. When I open my mouth, I speak with wisdom. I process my thought. I don't just open my mouth and say, sweetheart, you have grown 9 months. If you give birth to a baby, 9 months, this baby is already, some of them are beginning to crawl. You're eating soft food. You're not just breast milk now. Soft diet. Baby's taking yoga. Baby's blabbing and all that. So the baby is growing. 9 months after you should have grown, you should have evolved, and that baby will not apologize to the mom to say, mom, I eat more now. I can eat soft food. I can crawl or slide on my tummy. No, that baby is not going to apologize for that. So your voice is needed. Your presence is needed. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward with confidence. Walk forward unapologetically. And until I see you next week, keep unleashing the divitude in you. Love you. See you at the top.